News into CBS Sports HQ. A Tuesday night in Miami and NBA history is made. BAM Adebayo scoring 83 points, the second most points scored in a single game by an NBA player, second to only Wilt Chamberlain, whose iconic 100-point game sets the bar. BAM becoming the third player in NBA history to score 80 or more points in a game, passing Kobe Bean Bryant's 81 points at the free throw line. BAM had 43 free throw attempts in this one as the Miami Heat get the win 150-129, and BAM Adebayo cements his name in the NBA history books. For more, I'm joined by CBS Sports NBA analyst Brad Bodkin. Brad, you are in Miami. You are in the city where this all went down. Any given Tuesday, NBA history can be made. The fact that BAM Adebayo in this game for 42 minutes, putting up iconic historic numbers, what's your immediate reaction?
Matt, I'm kind of at a loss for words right now. I mean, of all the guys, BAM Adebayo, very, very good player, defensive player of the year, perennial candidate, not the guy anybody ever would have expected, 16 point per game career scorer, to be threatening Wilt Chamberlain's 100. But I can't even say it without laughing. I looked up tonight, he's got 31 in the first quarter. That's already record-breaking pace. He breaks the Heat franchise record. Then he goes on and he breaks his own personal record, the most points he'd ever scored in a game, in a full game, 41 points. He had 43 at halftime. His high for the season this year is 32 points. The numbers that we're seeing in this box score tonight, Madeline, are absolutely bonkers. 43 free throw attempts. The first player in history to go over 70 points, but under 50% field goal percentage. So he was gunning tonight, particularly at the end. Eric Spoelstra left him in. They were clearly record chasing at the end, but fair play as far as I'm concerned. Maybe some people are going to talk about that. Anytime you get to a number like 72, 74, 76, at that point, everybody's hunting buckets. There's not much time left in the game, so I got no problem with that. But any way you look at these numbers tonight, from free throw attempts, 22 three-point attempts. He's a 32% three-point shooter. Just unbelievable numbers across the board tonight. BAM Adebayo, of all the guys in NBA history, the second highest single game scoring output to Wilt Chamberlain. And Wilt is sort of like in his own. I mean, he has all these crazy numbers that no one's ever going to. So, like, for my money, BAM Adebayo is sort of the single game scoring leader ever, because Wilt was just, playing a different game against different competition. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, and I mean, Wilt wasn't on camera, so we don't have video evidence of Wilt's 100-point game. We just have the photo here, but BAM, we've got highlights, and we knew, Brad, from the start that this one was going to be special. As you mentioned, that first quarter, 31 points. BAM Adebayo outscored the entire Wizards team 31-29 and passed LeBron James for the most points scored in a single quarter in Heat history, passing Kobe Bryant for the 81 points for the second most points scored in a game. As a player, I mean, being in the Miami area, I'm sure you're well familiar with BAM Adebayo. Being able to experience passing some of the greats of the game and cementing a place in the history books, that's got to feel really special for a guy like this.
Oh, yeah, I don't think there's any question. If you're around BAM at all, he is really a respectful guy, really good guy, always talks well of the guys that came before him. He just actually had a moment a couple of weeks ago where he was not happy with the Heat, that they're in the play-in tournament again. He says, we're a better team than this. And then Dwayne Wade called him out on national TV and sent him a voicemail and said, are you really better than a play-in team? Sort of held his feet to the fire, as sort of like, put up or shut up. Well, whatever Dwayne Wade said on that voicemail to BAM Adebayo surely lit a fire under him. I don't know that anybody expected he was going to come out and put up numbers like this. But yes, BAM Adebayo, very good player, hard player, prideful player, doesn't like where the Heat are at, 4 straight play-in tournament bursts. There has been a knock on BAM Adebayo of being just sort of underneath that truly elite level of player for all his defensive skills, for all his ability to facilitate as that high post hub for Miami. He has stretched himself as a shooter this year. He's taken 5 threes a game. That's double what he took last year. So he has added to his game, but there's always been a little bit of a knock that you can't depend on him as a go-to scorer before he goes up to that level. Now, this is one game. It doesn't mean he's shaken off that criticism, but it does show that he has been growing as a three-point shooter, as a go-to scorer, as a guy who's going to aggressively hunt for his offense when the situation says that it's time for him to go. And clearly tonight he had it going. I find it absolutely remarkable that we're going to look up in the record books because, yes, all records are meant to be broken, but it will be a while. I mean, this is a ton of points, and Bam Adebayo could very well end. This thing could hold out for decades. Oh. Kobe Bryant's had 81. It's been, what, 20 years since Kobe Bryant? So what a remarkable night.
Well, and you mentioned, too, how Bam has expanded his game and been taking more threes of late, 5, 6 a game. He took 22 in this 22. One. And you'd think, okay, 83 points. Yeah, you'd think 83 points, a volume of those are going to come from deep. Just 7 of 22 because he's getting double and triple teamed by the Wizards. But credit to his teammates for facilitating and still getting the ball to him, and for him for drawing the contacts because, again, 43 shots from the charity stripe. He had 36 of his 83 points from the free throw line.
Yeah, he damn near took more free throws than Kobe Bryant took field goals in his 81-point game. That's a crazy number. So listen, there's going to be a lot of conversation about this. People are going to talk about him record hunting at the end. People are going to talk about the 43 free throws, if I'm even getting that number right, but a lot over 40 free throws. They're going to talk about that. Kobe only had 20 free throw attempts, and they're going to bring up the whole ethical scorer, and that's a big talking point right now with SGA and all these guys foul baiting. There's going to be a lot of talk, but listen, pay that no mind. You put up 83. I don't care how you got there, who you did it against, or if at the end of the game you got a few buckets when you otherwise probably would have been on the bench by then. Nobody cares about that. 83, it's just an insane number, and it's an insane number specifically because it comes from a guy who is not that kind of scorer. Good scorer, can score against the right matchup, has evolved his game over the years, has become a guy who can face up and knock down shots from the elbow, has stretched himself, as we mentioned, to a somewhat viable three-point threat. But nobody, I mean, if he would have put up 50 tonight, it would have been a huge story. This is not a Luka Doncic. This is not some 50 would have been an insane story for Bam Adebayo. Then you look up, what? He's got 60? Hold on, 70? Wait, he's still in the game? He's at the free throw line for Kobe's record? It just kept going and going and going. We're all sitting here watching on the monitor. Unbelievable night. And it's cool for Bam to have the moment at the end of the game with Eric Spoelstra because Bam is pretty entrenched now as a Heat guy. There's 5 or 6 of them, and he's become one of those guys. Has made his mark defensively, is a winner, but nobody ever had him scoring like this. And kudos to him for a night like this. It's really a cool story, almost cooler than, a Donovan Mitchell or a Devin Booker or a Stephen Curry or a Luka Doncic, or one of these guys getting 70. We're like, it's still a crazy number, but you figure, oh, eventually they'll put up a game like that. Nobody had Bam going for even 50.
Yeah, 83 is a historic night on a Tuesday in Miami. Bam Adebayo. Brad Botkin, thanks so much for the insight as Bam Adebayo cements himself in the NBA history books. And LeBron James chiming in on Twitter. Bam, bam, bam. That's about right. That's about what we were all thinking watching those shots fall as Bam Adebayo, the second highest scoring game in the history of the association. 83 points, getting buckets, and yes, of course, the Heat got the win. Coming up, a historic night in the 305. We continue to break down Bam Adebayo's 83-point performance. Stay with us on CBS Sports HQ.